Today, we're diving into an incredibly powerful story. It's about a mother named Margaret Hayes, and her journey really shows us the unbelievable strength of a parent's sacrifice, the deep, deep pain of loss, and, well, maybe most importantly, the profound power of forgiveness.
Wow. I mean, this one quote from Margaret it hits you right in the chest, doesn't it? Imagine looking at the person you poured your entire life into and seeing a complete stranger. It just makes you wonder, how does a bond that strong just disappear? Let's get into it.
So, to really understand how things fell apart, we have to go back to the beginning. We need to see the world Margaret built from the ground up, a world that had one person and one person only at its center, her son, David.
See, after her husband left, Margaret's life became this incredible testament to sacrifice. She worked 2 jobs, cleaning houses and working in a bakery, just to make ends meet. Every single bit of energy, every dollar she earned, it wasn't for her. New clothes, good food for herself? No, all of it went straight into David's future. And in her heart, she truly believed that this kind of love, this total selflessness, was building a bond that nothing could ever break.
And you know what? For years, it really seemed like she was right. All that hard work, it paid off. David grew up to be what she called a fine young man. He was everything to her, the source of all her pride.
But then, something shifted. Right around the time David turned 25, an outside influence came into the picture, and the world Margaret had so carefully constructed for them, it started to wobble.
And that influence had a name: Samantha. Now, to hear David tell it, she was perfect. He would just light up talking about her, kind, beautiful, full of life. But Margaret, from the very first moment she met her, she had this feeling. You know that little alarm bell in your gut? Despite all the polite smiles, Margaret felt a deep, instinctual fear. Something just wasn't right.
And pretty soon, under Samantha's influence, the son Margaret knew started to vanish. The change was so stark you could see it. The simple clothes he used to wear, replaced with designer outfits. His old, close friends, suddenly he had a new, richer crowd. And those Sunday dinners at their home, the ones he never missed, they got swapped out for fancy restaurants. He was literally becoming a different person, right in front of her eyes. So when Margaret finally worked up the courage to voice her concerns, just gently trying to look out for him, David's reaction was nothing short of explosive. He accused her of being jealous. He said she didn't want him to be happy. For Margaret, those words were like a physical blow. It was the first real crack in their foundation.
And that one crack, well, it didn't take long for it to spread and become a giant chasm. This is where we get to the most painful part of the story, the complete unraveling of their relationship and the beginning of a silence that would stretch on and on.
It didn't happen overnight. It was this slow, agonizing decay. First, the Sunday dinners just stopped. Then the phone calls got shorter, more clipped. His excuses for being distant started turning into outright anger. And then, finally, the calls just stopped coming altogether. Silence. Weeks of it just bled into months. For Margaret, that silence was absolutely deafening. Her little house, which had always been this warm, loving place, it started to feel like a prison, just empty, silent, and cold.
Finally, she just couldn't take the silence anymore. Margaret decides she has to do something, she has to confront it. And this leads to the absolute lowest point in the whole story, a final, crushing rejection.
So she goes to his apartment. Picture her standing there, her hands probably shaking, staring at his front door. Number 22. She takes a deep breath and knocks, her heart just pounding, hoping, praying to just see her son's face. But David doesn't answer. Samantha does. And the words that come out of her mouth are just like daggers. She tells Margaret that yes, David is home, but he doesn't want to see her. She says he wants freedom. Freedom from his own mother.
And the worst part, the absolute most gut-wrenching part of this whole thing, David was right there, just feet away. He heard everything, and he stayed behind that door. He let Samantha turn his own mother away. His silence was the loudest, most painful rejection you could ever imagine. Margaret just walked away completely shattered. Her son was gone.
But believe it or not, that is not where the story ends. After what must have felt like an eternity of that crushing silence, something completely unexpected happens, opening the door for a reunion, all powered by a mother's unconditional love.
One morning, Margaret's reading the newspaper,
and a name just jumps off the page. It's her son's. The article reveals that Samantha had been cheating on him, and not just with anyone, but with David's best friend. Margaret's heart just broke for him, imagining the pain he must be in. Her first instinct was to run to him, but then the memory of that closed door, of his anger, it just froze her in place.
Well, it turns out she didn't have to make a choice, because that very same evening, she hears a knock on her door. No one ever came to visit. Her hand was probably shaking as she went to open it.
And there he was. It was David. He looked broken. His eyes were red, swollen from crying. He just collapsed into her arms, sobbing, repeating the only words he could seem to find. "Mother, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry."
Now, people asked her later, How could you forgive him so quickly after everything he did? And Margaret's explanation was simple. She said a mother's heart is just different. In that moment, standing in her doorway, she didn't see the grown man who had abandoned and hurt her so deeply. All she saw was her little boy, her son, who was in pain and had finally come home.
And really, that's such a powerful reminder for all of us. Families can hurt each other, sometimes in unimaginable ways. But what Margaret's story shows us is that love can be an incredible healing force, strong enough to mend even the deepest wounds and bring back what we thought was lost forever.
Which kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. For Margaret, forgiving her son seemed as natural and as necessary as breathing. But for the rest of us, is that kind of forgiveness a gut instinct we're born with? Or is it a hard, conscious, and really difficult choice we have to make every single time? Something to ponder.